You gotta be f***ing Clark. You gotta be f***ing Giles. You gotta be f***ing
10 unanswered questions about
cheating bitch. Clear!
Number 1.
How much time actually went by in this film? Was it 3 days? Or
Yeah, man, just relax.
Number 2.
was it 6 days? One of my all-time favorite films. A motherfucking classic, ladies and gentlemen. Always a good time watching this film. Now, one thing I'm not going to get into is the ending. Mac and Child's beating the thing. It's been beaten to death. We ain't here for that. If you want my opinion on it, I think they're both human. And I also think that's the most terrifying possibility there is. Because you have two survivors, two guys who could have helped each other, but choose not to. But paranoia wins. So they sit there and freeze to death. And I know no matter what I say, this is going to show up in the comments. So let's just get this out of the way. The child's breath theory. Bullshit. It makes no sense to me to say that the thing doesn't have breath. Child's has breath. You can see it clear as day right here in this clip. Benning's things had breath clear as day. I mean, if you can't see that, you need some bifocals. The gasoline in Mac's J&B bottle. Now, I really like this theory. There's a common theory going around. If you reference the scene with Mac playing Chess Wizard early in the film, he uses that J&B on that cheating bitch. It could be the same scenario here. However, this completely falls apart because Mac was about to drink that bottle. You can see that right here. He's about to put it up to his lips. Why would Mac be drinking gasoline? And if you're going to break the fourth wall in a way which I don't like doing, yes, John Carpenter has confirmed that one of them is the thing. But the thing about that thing is that John has also confirmed that neither one of them is the thing.
I'm not going to tell you who's the thing at the end. I'm not going to do it. No.
I think it's about time to realize that John's just trolling at this point. He's never going to give you the answer because the ending is supposed to be ambiguous. So let's let that classic mysterious ending shine the way it's supposed to. Let's do a timeline based on everything we know. Most people vastly underestimate the amount of time that passes between scenes in this film. For example, you may think it's mere moments from each other when you watch this scene with Clark and the dogs. I'll play that clip.
Clark, will you put this mutt with the others where he belongs?
Go ahead.
And actually, 9.5 hours pass by. Big difference, right? Sounds bizarre, but let's break down the times for the entire movie. Day 1, 8:25 a.m. The men are relaxing in the rec room. Mac is playing chess against that cheating bitch. The Norwegian helicopter flies by. Dog thing arrives. Shit goes south. 9:36. Norwegian body lying on the ping pong table. 9:55 a.m. Mac and Copper leave for the Norwegian camp. Dog thing takes his first victim. 2:25. Autopsies of pilot and Norwegian thing. 7 o'clock p.m. The men are back in the rec room. And this is when Clark cages Dog thing. Day 2. 4:30 a.m. Dog thing attacks sled dogs in the kennel. Dog thing gets burnt the fuck up. They do the autopsy. They leave for the crash site. They see the alien wreckage. They come back. They have a discussion in the rec room. 5:36 p.m. Blair performs his computer simulations and calculations. They transport the carcass into the storeroom. Bennings gets attacked by the thing and killed. Bennings' things get torched. And Blair goes fucking ape shit.
Do you hear me?
Day 3! Blair is locked in the tool shed. The blood is discovered to be sabotaged. McCready takes charge. Mac makes his speech, "I know I'm human." 9:35 p.m. Doc, Gary, and Clark are tied in the rec room. Day 4, no events happen in the film. We know this because Mac, on day 5, says that the storm's been hitting us hard for 48 hours.
The storm's been hitting us hard now for 48 hours. We still have nothing to go on.
And previously, he says that the storm is coming in 6 hours.
There's a storm hitting us in 6 hours. We're gonna find out who's who.
Plus, everybody has a change of clothes. Fuchs is killed. 10:05 p.m. Mac organizes search parties to find Fuchs. Mac speaks with Blair at the tool shed. The men board up the outside doors. Norris thing bursts out and is killed. And Spiderhead is torched. Leading into day 6, Mac directs everybody to tie themselves down. 12:28 a.m., Clark is shot and killed by Mac. 12:44 a.m., Palmer thinks blood jumps out of the dish. 12:47 a.m., Palmer thinks is hit with the flamethrower. And the rest of the film happens until Mac and Childs have their final encounter and the ending. The reason I had to do this and find this out is because I always got confused when Mac said that the storm is about to hit us in 6 hours. And then immediately after that, he's like, the storm's been hitting us hard for 48 hours. He also tells Fuchs that he hasn't slept in 2 days.
It's getting cold in here, Fuchs, and I haven't slept in
Wait a
2
minute,
days.
Mac, wait a minute.
So that was always a thorn in my side, but I hope I cleared that up for somebody else as well.
What the hell you looking at me like that for?
Number 3.
What happened to the other 2 missing dogs? They're unaccounted for. And,
I'll go with Child.
Hey, fuck you, Palmer!
ain't talking all that shit now, are you? What happened to that missing generator? Did the thing have another hiding spot we never knew about? And,
Ship of some kind?
yeah, no shit. Did the thing outsmart everyone and had a secret host to assimilate the entire time? Let's talk about some things. First, an insanely overlooked detail. The missing dogs. You know the infamous kennel scene, the one where the thing starts tweaking and goes apeshit. This matters because in the grand scheme of things, get it?
Get the fuck off the stage!
See what I did there? Things.
Bitch ass mother.
In that scene, we clearly see 6 huskies with the thing in the middle. And remember, 9.5 hours go by in this scene. Because Clark leaves and comes back with a fresh set of clothes. But regardless, there are still 6 non-things accounted for before the chaos starts. This dog gets f***ed up, another one gets attacked and shot by Mac, so that leaves 4. We visibly see 2 dogs escape the kennel, meaning there's still 2 dogs unaccounted for. The thing didn't attack the other dogs because we see them shortly before Mac and the crew arrive. So there's only 2 possibilities here. 2 dogs stayed behind and were later axed by Blair, while the others supposedly ran off. Or, all 4 dogs ran off and only 2 were recovered and killed by Blair. Either way, same result. 2 dogs are still missing. And that's not a good thing, because
No dog making 1,000 miles to the coast. That thing wanted to be on!
you feel me? So if those dogs wandered off and didn't die, which means regardless of Mac and Child's fate at the end, the thing still has backup hosts out there to assimilate if needed. Now we know factually only 2 of them dogs made it back because of these scenes. Scene number 1, when Blair and Clark collect the blood samples, and later when Blair goes axe happy on the dogs, there's still only 2 dogs present. And when the dog thing got burned up, there's no dogs left in the kennel. So again, where did them 2 dogs go? That brings me to my next point, the missing generator.
The generator's gone.
Any way we can fix it?
It's gone, McCready.
We later learn that Blair thing had a secret underground tunnel where it was rebuilding the spaceship part by part, piece by piece. So let's ask this in-universe question. What is the thing's plan? Was it trying to leave Earth? Was it trying to make it to civilization so it can assimilate the entire world and then move on to the next planet? Who knows? Whatever its plan was leading up to that point of escaping, it had to use that generator for something. That generator didn't just vanish. That thing is huge. You're not slipping that in your back pocket. And since it wasn't in the hiding spot of the spaceship, to me that suggests that the thing had another hiding spot, using it as a tool to build the spaceship. Because I believe it cut the generator out of the picture the moment the blackout happened, because the spaceship was already discovered, and after the blackout, they destroyed the spaceship. So the thing removes the generator so the humans would perish, so it could freeze in the snow until the rescue team arrived. But that still doesn't explain where it went. With that being said, we still don't know where these last 2 tunnels go, because all the men go down to the one on the right here. But nonetheless, that means it had to have a secondary hiding spot, just like it had secondary hosts, those missing dogs. And there's a substantial amount of time that passes in this film, way more than people realize. Very large unaccounted gaps where we have no idea what the thing is doing, which leads me to my final tie-in, the crash site. If we stay solely in universe and not breaking the 4th wall, as always, there's a blink and you miss it moment very early on. When Mac and the others fly out to investigate the crashed spaceship, you can briefly see a figure in this corner. Someone hurries, looks, and then ducks, right out of frame. I'll play that one more time in slow motion for you. Not breaking the 4th wall. This could be the thing very early on salvaging them parts that we're later to see in the underground tunnel. I believe it combined the parts from the crashed spaceship, the Norwegian camp, and a helicopter from Outpost 31. And we already know the thing doesn't have to be one creature. It can split off, multiply, and operate independently. This mysterious figure could also tie in Fuchs, seeing that silhouette during the hallway blackout. He chases it outside and finds Mac's torn clothing. Fuchs ends up dead, Freddy Kruegered, and we as the audience know absolutely nothing about Fuchs' death. No explanation, no reason, no rudimentary sense of good or evil, right or wrong, or how he died. What if all of these moments, the missing dogs, the missing generator, the mysterious figure in the blackout hallway, and at the crash site at the spaceship, the possible secondary hiding spot of the thing where it possibly stored that missing generator? What if this isn't random at all? What if all this is just evidence of the thing's intelligence? The thing quietly working in the background, while we the audience is watching the wrong threat the entire time. A distraction, if you will. So maybe, just maybe, the thing never died, and it never left. Could you imagine in the ending where Mac and Childs are just super paranoid of each other, and time goes by and all of a sudden, psh, a secondary fucking spaceship just flies in the sky, and they're like, oh, my bad, dog. That would be fucked up. Number 6. Rapid fire round. Damn, dude came out dick swinging. Well, more like perched up. I think the thing grabbed Mac's clothes when he dropped them right here. Man, I do not see how that bullet did not hit Childs through that wall.
I'm all right. I'm much better.
I don't know, man. You have a noose hanging right beside you. And that wasn't tied like that before. I also think the thing got the keys for the blood when Windows dropped them. You can hear Windows drop some keys.
Going with me? All right, cut the bullshit!
Yeah, what he said. What's up with the Palmer thing? Literally the Palmer thing. And number 8. Would the thing carry over traits if it assimilated somebody with reduced cognitive brain function? So let's talk about Palmer thing first, because this scene always confused me. Now Palmer thing doesn't give himself up until he's tied up, and he literally has no choice with the blood test. Up to that point, he plays it safe, and you can see the look on his face before the blood test even starts. He knows what's coming. Intelligence-wise, I would like to know how it works when the thing assimilates somebody. Now, the scene I'm talking about that's always confused me is with that weird-ass spider head thing, because Palmer was already 100% assimilated when Norris thing had his crash out and got burned up. Palmer even points out Spiderhead to Mac.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Which is crazy to think about because at that point, he is selling out himself. Or more so selling out the other thing. I bet that Spiderhead thing was pissed. And we know for a fact Palmer is assimilated there because just moments later, the blood test happens and he turns. So that makes me wonder how the intelligence side of the thing works. Did he sell out the other thing because he was trying to buy himself time? Or was the thing actually fucking puzzled on what the other thing was doing? Could you imagine Palmer thing being like, what? Bro, what you doing? Which raises my second question. How much of the host's mind does the thing replicate? Now in the film, Blair tells us how this works. The host gets assimilated and is able to imitate cells perfectly. So it gets your memories, your mannerisms, how you talk, how you act, your entire personality. It doesn't just look human, it knows how to behave human. So if that's the case, is it hypothetically possible that if the thing assimilated somebody with severe dementia or Alzheimer's, that there would be times that the thing wouldn't know it's the thing? That would be a crazy ass angle, would it not? Could you imagine having a movie one day where the whole plot is the who done and who is it thing with the thing, but the thing doesn't actually know it's the thing because the thing assimilated somebody who's mentally disintegrated, and now the thing doesn't know it's the thing. And the reveal would just be like, oh my god, it's me.
You too! I'll have 2 number 9s.
Whatever happened to Palmer's sentient blood? Small one here, but after the Palmer thing, did his thing and fucking devoured Windows up like it was a damn taco burrito supreme 3000 with extra mushrooms, the blood has had plenty of time to disappear while everybody's distracted. And if it really does have the same exact makeup as actual blood, did it eventually dry up while it went and hid? Did it go outside and freeze like it wanted to? Or most likely it just recombined with Palmer thing. That makes the most sense to me, but we never see it. But with that being said, the blood seems to be heading in Mac's direction, not Palmer's. Now I can go into a big rabbit hole about the single cell theory, but I'm not really going to, because you probably already know about it anyway, and I'm not really sold on that angle. But it is worth considering. So what did it do? Did it go freeze in the snow like it wanted to do in the first place? Did it go assimilate one of the missing dogs? Or did it try to go back with Palmer thing and, turn into the blah, 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 blah. Is the X-Files connected to the thing? Hear me out on this one. The X-Files episode Ice originally aired on November 5th, 1993, and is one of the most obvious and deliberate love letters to John Carpenter's The Thing. From the very beginning, the episode places us in a remote research outpost in Alaska, buried in the snow, isolated by weather, and cut off from the outside world. Looks familiar. Visually, the base is identical. I'll compare the two right here. The base is identical to Outpost 31. And a neat little trivia is that the same set designer worked on both. And the outpost is literally lifted from this film, meaning these characters are quite literally standing in the same place. Even if the show never says it out loud, the environment alone invites comparison. The episode opens with a black and white dog. Looks familiar. Scientists turning on each other because one of them isn't themselves. Looks familiar. Investigating and alien specific, trying to figure out the inner workings of their enemy. Looks fucking familiar, don't it? Now, the organism in the ice isn't a shapeshifter like the Thing. It's a parasitic worm, small, microscopic, invasive, but functionally, it achieves the same result. It doesn't imitate the body, but it hijacks the mind. It amplifies aggression, paranoia, and distrust, turning the scientists against each other. Even the infected dog infects one of the scientists. Looks fucking familiar! So it's not really about the monster, it's about not knowing who you're sitting next to. What's interesting about this episode is how closely this lines up with The Thing on a conceptual level without being a direct copy.
Worms are hermaphroditic and can reproduce itself.
In The Thing, the threat is perfect imitation. In Ice, it's loss of control. Different methods, same outcome. Both organisms strip away individuality, free will, and certainty. And both only become truly dangerous once humans dig them up and bring them back inside. So is Ice directly connected to the Thing universe? Probably not. But I do think there's room to say this might be an alternate universe of The Thing. This carbon copy story taking place in the same outpost research stations, just in different locations. Could be a branched out timeline and another chapter of The Thing, of this all-time classic sci-fi horror film. That's going to wrap this video up, guys. Thank you so much for taking part of the day to kick it with me. I appreciate it. I'll see you next week in the next video. That being said, if you have any theories about any horror film whatsoever, drop it in the Discord. The Discord is absolutely free, just a hangout spot. You can come tell me about your day, how good it was, how bad it was, we're talking about music, games, movies. And if you submit a theory that I really like and holds some weight, I will credit you in the video. I also have YouTube membership where you get early access to all my videos. Sometimes I do giveaways, you get loyalty badges, custom emojis, priority replied comments. The list goes on and on. It's very beneficial for you and me. Plus, you'll be supporting me in this channel. Don't feel obligated, but it really helps me out.